Good evening, folks. Dr. Freedom here with you. Time for some Doctor Who news. News from in and around the universe that may or may not affect you on a strange, weird, cosmic level that could almost be mind-bogglingly numbing. Alright, and sure enough, I do not have things in the right order. As usual. Okay, there we go. Oh, man. Okay, now, as you can see from the title of tonight's presentation, Captain Jack has been canceled. Pretty much that's it. It's over. For all you people who've been asking me, is there a chance that, Captain Jack will be appearing in Series 13? Now, I can definitely tell you, no. Even if they did shoot anything for Series 13 that involved John Barrowman, it's probably all been tossed in the trash bin now, and they're going to have to rewrite around it. And all because of this crazed nonsense that's going around about, it started here with this article that I got up here on the screen for you, with Noel Clarke being accused of sexual harassment and all that from stuff when he was back on the Doctor Who set. Now, we don't even know if any of this actually happened. It's just, look, I'm not trying to be mean to the people who've made the accusation, but I remember a time when you had to have proof before you took somebody down to the gallows and hung them. But now, all you got to do is point a finger and say, this person did this upteenth years ago, and your job's in jeopardy and you're being thrown out the window. And with Captain Jack, it was stuff that he did, if I remember correctly. I think they were redressing things that happened back in 2008. Stuff that the BBC had already reprimanded him for and that he already apologized for. Yet here they go. He did this such and such years ago. Oh my God, he did this with his happy thing. Whatever. He had his Schwanstucker out, so to speak. Well, now we're going to have to hang him. Folks, this deeply upsets me because here is a guy. Just John Barrowman in particular, who when he was filming Arrow, he made sure that one of the stipulations he had before he walked into that show was, if they call me up to show up on Doctor Who, I want the time off. And the producers who were Whovian said, hell yeah, you got it. Get over here. Here's a guy who bent over backwards for fans. Here's a guy who was doing nothing more than joking, which some people took offense to. He apologized for it. He already did his reprimand for it and all that by the BBC. And then here we go. Bam. Yes, it's unprofessional, but he apologized for it. He took his licks. He changed his ways. He didn't do it after that point. It's like, whatever happened to second chances? Whatever happened to, you've done your time, we forgive you. Now, it's years later, and they're trying to punish him again over stuff he's already taken the rap for. He does get a bit... No, actually, like I said, I've not like we're taking showers together, but I have met John Barrowman. The guy is very intelligent. He's very fun-loving. He's, just doesn't have a filter. And there's some people out there who like that, But, as we said, are we going to punish people for stuff they haven't done in over 10 years or more? See, this don't make any sense to me. Yet you've got people going, he deserved it. He took his willy out 13 years ago. Ugh. No, it's not normal, but he hasn't done it since. You see what I mean? You're going to try, convict, and crucify the man off things he did and he hasn't done since. It's like, what's the point of, even apologizing anymore? You're still going to get hanged. So that's what upsets me about this whole thing. So yeah, but then like I said, the topper came when, oh yeah, by the way, all you folks are saying he deserved it. How about all those folks from Big Finish? All right, because here we go. Yeah, he's been removed from Time Fracture, which is kind of, a dick move at this point because, everybody and their grandmother is going to be in Time Fracture. But of course, they've oh, by the way, Colt Box nailed this first. I want to make sure that's out there. They got this ahead of everybody else. Immersive Everywhere has taken the decision to remove this pre-record from Doctor Who Time Fracture, we'll continue to include content that pays tribute to this brilliant show that is Torchwood, as not to disappoint its fan, and are working on an exciting storyline to be announced soon. Captain Jack is Torchwood, you jackass! What planet are you living on? You might as well just try to have the Milton Berle show without Milton Berle. Matter of fact, we can do it now. He's been dead how many years, but we'll do it. By the way, there's rumors about him. Oh, that's a whole other story. But then the topper. They pulled Absent Friends, which is an upcoming release from Big Finish. Folks, this is 13 years after the fact. Now, someone goes, it's been there the whole time. I go, yeah, but he didn't, the stuff he did on set, he ceased doing after he was reprimanded by the BBC. If he's in public, and he's at a con, and people are having a good time, then what's the point? You're basically, all right, someone says show business shouldn't be separate. Okay, so you're basically telling somebody they have to be a goody two-shoes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for your benefit because you might get offended. God, when I was back in, I think it was 6th grade or maybe 5th grade, we read a story about groupthink, and here we are. And it warned us about groupthink. And here we are right in the middle of it. It weirds me out. But here's the thing. Like I said, I know some of you out there are offended. It's still going on now. Then don't go to his panels. What are you, children of the corn? You know, like, not children of the corn. Well, actually more like sheep in the corn, whatever they say. Where you have to absolutely do what the guy behind the row says. Me, I'd be getting out of that cornfield. But unless you get put in the cornfield. No, that was Twilight Zone. But, you see what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Where you're basically telling somebody if they want to be a celebrity, they have no choice but to bow to your whims. Look, I can understand keeping a public face and all that, but Barrowman has never been quiet. He's never been... and like I said, the behavior that took place on set, he was made aware of, he was reprimanded for, and he even apologized for over a decade ago. Now it's a decade later, somebody brings it up. Oh, all right, was it Arrow in 2014 also? Okay, but once again, when you read Stephen Amell's accounts of anything that happened on Arrow, yeah, like I said, it seemed like to me, and I agree with somebody, oh heck, who was it who said this, that they're trying to deflect off of, Noel Clarke. And I'm like, because Noel Clarke was the guy who was originally in trouble, and then they started going into his panels, like you said, about John Barrowman. And, yeah, if I did any of that stuff, I'd be fired too. But in his case, like I said, he apologized for it. Now, apparently they said some of this still happened in 2014. Stephen Amell, if I remember right, yeah, someone was talking to me about this last night. And he laughed his ass off. He thought it was funny. But like I said, you've still got those one or two people who are offended. So now it's like still, but that's 2014. 7 years ago. No, I'm with you on Gina Carano. What they did to Gina Carano is wrong. And I was tempted to do a video about the death of free speech in this country. Because even I have received notice that if I say something, or employees in my certain work area or whatever say anything about their company, who shall remain unnamed, that we can be terminated. Our social media accounts are being watched. And it's, the same thing happened to Gina Carano because she made a certain comparison. And it's like, so let me get this straight. You not only fired her, they canceled her. They even canceled her figure line. She had action figures coming out. Now imagine all those poor young girls who've come up on Star Wars. And now, no action figure, too bad, because She did something that wasn't politically correct. So yeah, but also I'm really ticked off about Absent Friends being pulled, because that one was going to basically have David Tennant in it. It was going to feature David Tennant returning as the Doctor. And now it's gone because people might get offended. It's like, well, here's the thing. Does that mean they're going to pull all the Torchwood releases? Or just the ones that had John Barrowman in them? Because to me, as far as I'm concerned, Captain Jack is the heart and soul of Torchwood after a point. There's no point in doing the line anymore if you're going to kick him out. And if I were his friends, I'd be up alongside him right now. But say, look, you might as well pull my shit too. Because I won't have it. If you're gonna do this over things he did years ago, then what are you gonna do? Go dig up some stuff on me later and kick me out the door? And yes, trust me, all societies have dual standards. I could list them by the thousands. Trust me. But okay, let's get on to the good news, shall we? Let's get on to a little bit of good news I have for you. This was over on Digital Spy. Jodie Whittaker, Joe Martin will be joined by classic Doctor Who actors in a new live show. And this, of course, also referring to Time Fracture. Apparently, Tom Baker has also been included in this. All right, here we go. Beginning May 26th, fans can experience their first ever interactive multi-Doctor story when 42 live actors and recorded performances from Doctor Who cast members are combined to create a unique show. BBC has now confirmed that classic series Doctor actors Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy will all lend their face and or voice to the show in new scenes, along with Jodie Whittaker and Joe Martin. Dave Bradley will also be reprising his role as the first Doctor, while Patrick Troughton's son, Michael, will be taking over the role as the second. Other actors will be providing the voices of the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctors, as well as Gemma Redgrave returning as Kate Lethbridge-Stewart. Kate Stewart, actually. She dropped the Lethbridge, And John Coleshaw will be featuring the Doctor's classic ally, the Brigadier. If you haven't heard John Coleshaw's Brigadier, really, I recommend it. He's really good in the Third Doctor Adventures. Really steps into the role. Okay, and of course, they mention here about John Barrowman's been pulled because he's been canceled. Sorry. He did shit a few years ago we don't like. Cancel him. Get him out of here. All right, meanwhile, Series 13 filming with Dr. John Bishop. I have been hearing the wildest ass rumors about Series 13 now. It's just scary. Someone put a few nifty ones up on Twitter today, and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I'm like, some of the stuff they come up with, I'm not even going to go into them. They're mainly hogwash. All right. So this was some filming they did in Penarth. A lot of people got a kick out of the fact. If you click on these, it'll take you to the actual Twitter account. I like it when they do it this way because that way the folks get, credit for their, efforts for being out there in the weather. I like the little pink lining on John Bishop's coat there. Really cool. Okay, but of course he's wearing the same 19th century flat cap he wore, earlier in other filming things. And of course the usual 8 episodes scheduled to film sometime in 2021. The latest theories are late autumn, which could be October, November. Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie teases the gravitas of Peter Capaldi's thinker. So she gives high praise to him. She says, quote, the character has definitely done justice, she tells of Capaldi's work, adding that the thinker, it goes into a bit of history of the thinker, how he began. And she said, quote, he's such an exceptional actor and he's such a lovely guy. So she goes, I don't want to give away anything, so I won't tell you what to expect, but he brings gravitas to the role. So Peter Capaldi knocking the socks off him out there in Hollywood land and all that, filming up that. Okay, so yes, you brought up Gina Carano. I got to talk about it. Haha. Because to me, it's just crazy out there. Yeah, she said something, that some people didn't like, or she made a comparison to a certain group of people that people don't like. But here's the problem: as much as we hate the Nazis, as terrible creatures as they were, if we forget it happened, then we're doomed to repeat it. History is there for you to learn from, not to be accept, or be offended by. History is there for you to learn from so you don't do that same shit over again. And that's basically what it's there for. And if we start erasing things as short-sighted as we are these days, we'll start to forget. And then who knows, one of these days someone will turn around to that same sad type of thinking that leads to such horrible, horrible, horrible consequences. But just because somebody says something, it's gotten ridiculous that we're chopping them, or they did something a few years, or they did something in the past that offends us. Wipe them away like garbage. Yeah, sadly it is. You're right. I agree with you. I see a lot of it being repeated, Herbie. I really do. And I already said, I keep telling people there's going to be another civil war in this country, maybe something worse. And I just hope I'm not alive to see it. I know. I agree with you. It's been happening. Just nobody wants to see it. Or to quote Orwell, they'll say nothing as long as they can stay to stare down into their screens. And look at how accurate he was. Didn't even know about this little critter, did he? But now I'm getting political. And I can't have that happen. Okay, so folks, I just wanted to tell you, look, I'm a little upset about it. Yeah, he pulled his thingy out. He showed the Sean Stucker. He whipped out his, wanger, whatever you want to call it. Showed the tallywhacker. Got some bad news for you. He's still a beloved figure in Doctor Who. You can't take that away from him. And you could cancel him all you want. Captain Jack is still going to be Captain Jack. A decade from now, when the idiots who made this decision are long ago gone, John Barrowman's going to still be Captain Jack to most of us fans. So, I don't know why, they decided to do this. It was a ridiculous decision. I think it's idiotic that, somebody does something some people get offended by. Now you got to kick them out of something. Oh, well. Sheesh, they're acting like he pulled out a bazooka and laid waste to a few villages. Then again, from what I heard, that might be possible. Okay, I'm getting on out of here before I go too crazy, folks. I just want to drop in, say hello, tell you there's some news out there. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Freedom out, kiddies.